Woo! Boy, let me tell you guys, Hulu Bad Hair. That movie was excellent. It's like a comedy slash horror. Okay, let's go ahead and get into do my commentary on these little horror films and breaking them down. And Hulu been putting them out lately. Hey, exclusively me. Yes, I am. I surely am. Okay, make sure you guys don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. All right, let's get into it. Okay, Hulu's Bad Hair is a period piece. 1989, the 90s. Lord, as far as hair back then, crazy. But the movie, even though it's a period piece, is still relevant. 2020, black women still feel like they have to um, change their hair and all kind of stuff and to get the straight, good hair. That whole thing's been a issue for black women for years. And now California was the very first state to pass the Crown Act, the acronym for Create a Respectful and Open Workplace for Natural Hair. I think last year, banning discrimination on natural hair. I wear my fro one, and I even had locks for years, so I never had an issue with it. But I know women who have. Um, Now Anna, her situation, this is like I said, 1989, and her workplace was different. She worked at I'm sorry, her dream was to be. She worked in music, a television job, and she wants to put weave in her hair to solve all her problems, or so she thinks. Okay. Hey Nurse Shay, how you doing? Welcome to Commission Reviews. It is a horror, like I said, comedy where like the bad person is weave. And for us, we can make fun of it, but if you look deep into this, you will understand actually once I really look into it, okay? Now, let me first put this picture up here. Let me get my pictures together. Y'all know how I am about my pictures when I try to talk about stuff. Okay, there we go. Now, early in the movie, her uncle is Blair Underwood. The very first scene I remember seeing is that this little girl, she has perm on her hair, and I think her cousin is there. She's staying with her family, and she wants to get her hair straight, so she has a relaxer. She starts complaining about it burning. You know how it is when you're a little girl, you get the perm on your hair is burning and everything. So she washes it out. As she washes her hair out, pieces of hair are falling into the bathtub. Just like a freak out moment. Flashback to her being older. She's at this job. You see everybody in the office. They culture. They all have straight hair, mostly weave wigs. That's the 90s or early 90s or whatever. So her uncle is really into black folk, and there was a folk tale called the Moss Hair Girl. She looks at it like this story is nothing, but it becomes like real life when the weave, takes over her body and forces her to kill to try to cut it out or put any kind of harm to her. Now, the salon that she goes to visit, which is called Virgie's, the hair salon, have hair from witches. Because as it said, the slave girl who had this regular, they call it nappy, but natural hair, and she wanted her hair straight like the master's wife and kids or whatever. So she went out into these. She saw these moss trees and they have all this hair that looks similar to their hair. She puts it on her hair, and things went left when the slaves started realizing that it was eating people and needing blood to survive. Okay, so she visited Virgie's hair salon to have her hair. Her hair is from witches because they're all witches that put the hair together. And the slave didn't know that, of course. The follicles feed on blood to gain power. So the witches can control black women. Okay, you could look at, slave control, slave commanded slave bodies. Um, she's reading the book, and you kind of look at the stories, and it seems like it does look as far as history of black people in those of folklore. But like Blair Underwood was saying, what may be a folklore or religion to us, other people will brush it off as a story, but it's our story, so it's probably legit or true, you know. Um, Let me see. I have these notes. Okay. Uh, the most terrifying part of the movie, it has like parts to me where you kind of jump and like, you know, because hold on right quick, y'all. Hold on, just a second. Okay, let me look at the comments. I'm gonna keep on going here. Okay, now this is what I'm gonna say. In the beginning of the movie, and it shows her growing up and wanting to change her hair, and she gets actually a burn mark from the relaxer. And as she's sewing the hair into her hair, blood actually comes out. Because honestly, there's pain involved when you get your hair done, all kind of stuff, right? So the blood comes out to me, and I see it kind of seep in together with the hair to me. And everybody who comes to the salon changes, but we only focus on Anna because she's actually the star of the show. But other women were also having the same effect. When you first walk into the office, it's all black, it's all culture, hip hop music. Maybe she is struggling because she has natural hair. She is struggling a little bit. People don't want to hire her. Let's be real. If you have natural hair, sometimes, especially in this time period, you may not get a job just because your hair is not straight. Hence the perm, relaxer, wigs, whatever. So she's sitting there crying while they're sewing this stuff into her head. Like you can see, literally, it was a metal. Look, it just it's like she's stuck on a purpose when she was like doing the weave. And they got to a point that the weave started getting hungry, and everybody they killed it fed off of it. It was even a part where she was on her cycle and she was gonna get it pat out, put blood on it so that the hair can eat it. The hair went down her pants. I was like, so all the black women that were in the office didn't want to change. The new boss, Vessel Williams, took over and was like to Anna, I need you to help these girls change their mind. Next thing you know, they all have hair, weave or whatever. Everyone looks different. These three girls, when you see them towards the end of the movie, everybody looks different. But see, the thing about it is the witch is the hair, the body is just the body. What the witch wants to do is feed enough where they will take over the body. But it's also another way you can look at it as well, because yes, it is a horror, supposed to scare or whatever. But when you look at it and about the weave, is that this young lady was fine the way her hair actually was, but other people had an issue with it because her hair wasn't straight or flowing or whatever. And even when office changed, once the boss took over, a new boss, and there was everybody in the office was white, had long hair, and they would see her walk through, they would give her a wink and everything else, like they see her all of a sudden now. But the part that tripped me out is that when she went to her old salon in the hood to get the hair taken out of her head, and her old boss was there, and her old boss who had locks told her she left because they wanted her to do what she's doing. So when she went to the salon to get the hair taken out of her hair, as soon as the beautician started to mess with the hair went crazy, killed the beautician, and they killed her old boss. Everywhere she went, the hair would kill and would just eat off of them. It seemed like she just didn't get it. Even her friends at first were side eyeing her, but she convinced them to change with her. I know it's about image, I know it's about the 80s, but at that time, getting weave was a really big deal. I remember that. You either got talked about or they pulled your weave. I never dealt with it. I always had natural hair, braids or whatever it was. But I didn't do like the weave thing. That never was my style. Okay. And it's crazy to me because she finally finished reading the story where it was like, remember when you see the witch, once it takes over, it's actually not the person, it's just the body, but it's the witch inside because her boss, who actually told her to get her hair done and everything else, and once she finally killed everybody in the office and they faced each other, she just started saying, "Oh, it's just hair." Her boss, and she told her, "Don't do that," because she had just been to the salon and saw her hair kill her beautician and her old boss. So when she tried to cut the hair out of her head, it choked her. But once it did that, the witch took over. It was completely a witch. And when it did that, everybody's hair who had the weave from that office, the hair contacted all of them out. They got together and they had like it was crazy. She was running from everything. Let me tell you something. I said it was a hot mess. All I know is this: all this over here. But look, like I said, in reality, it's real. Black women have an issue as far as it's not really an issue, but because of the fact that we have been not looked at as beautiful because of our different types of our hair and stuff like that, there's the witch right there. Well, she became a witch at this point. She became a witch at this point. I did enjoy the scenes, like when her boss kept trying to come get money from her and everything. He wanted to rape her and all kind of stuff. It's almost like the hair was helping the black women, like the hero. I know it sounds crazy, because like he tried to come in there and raise the price of her rent or try to rape her and everything else. I know I'm not going to be not monetized because I said the R word, but um, uh, trying to take things from all the women that's in the building, took advantage of him, but the hair killed him and threw him out the window. The next day, all the black women came outside. It was not even upset that he was gone and just talk about how bad he was to them, how he treated them, all the women in the building. Anna was just so confused and going crazy. She brushed off her uncle talking about the whole little uh cultural and different things, and but to me, looking at the fact that she had the final blowout. Every movie, every horror movie is a final, final back to back. We're gonna fight or whatever. You know, once she took over as the witch and she finally got her shot. Nobody could find the boss because she had killed him. The witch took over and they didn't know where she was at. They needed a host, and she went and did it. But she kept seeing her boss with the crazy eye, which was a witch at that time. So she took her behind back to the building, which I would not have done that. She went back into the building, and the witch had taken over. Her whole entire body was just Vanessa Williams, was just hair from head to toe. And she wanted to take over her body, I believe. The hair started coming together, but then Anna ran off, and when she hid, she started smoking cigarettes. She started thinking. Then she took a lighter that she found and thought it was a gun. Child shooting, the fire came out. Like, oh my god! She put it to the water hydrant. What is the worst thing that could happen to weave? The very beginning of the movie, she said, "Do not get it wet." So when she lit that fire, and the fire thing from the ceiling came down and hit that weave, baby, that hair was hollering like how black women holler when their hair gets out of the pool. You throw some water on it. Ah, it was yes. Then she went to cutting the weave all out of hair, and all you saw was this black woman sitting there with hair flying all over the place. And I know she seemed so relieved to have her hair back. She seemed so relieved. I said, "Child boo." I felt like, and then with the water, because it hit her and then the hair that was sticking out. You know how the water hit the witches at the end of the movie? Ain't melting. All the hair was on the ground. I thought it was over. Then she left, moved back home with her uncle and her cousin, same cousin, tried to perm her hair. They got close opposite. It was little girls then. And so her and her are talking. And of course, you see the billboards as you hear in the background. It's not the witches, it's the witch's hair, but it's someone else's body. She's still alive, still making money. And then all of a sudden it shows the hair that she saw a truck with the picture. The picture of the Moss folklore was on a truck. And it shows the truck going back to this whole land, and you see a big tree with hair everywhere. And the same that white dude that owns the company that was at first ignoring Anna, and then at the end when she had the weed was all on her face, he owned the company. And as you hear the words, the family owns the land. So they own the moss tree, but the moss tree owns them. So when people get killed and he knows about it, they feed it back to the tree because they brought all the dead bodies back to the land. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. And then at the very end, as she's reading all this, and she's like happy, she's got away and she's moved out of her house, and she left the job and she's back home or whatever. And then she couldn't really hear her cousin because she was so focused on the book. Then her cousin was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be late for dinner tonight." And she was like, What? I didn't hear you. I was busy." She said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to that salon. I'm going to get my hair done. Let somebody else do my hair for a change." And she said, "Wait, wait, wait." All I heard was the door closed. All I heard was the door closed, and she went running behind her cousin, but her cousin was already gone and it went off. So I took a few things from this. Everybody just came into the chat. I want to say welcome. Everybody just came into the chat. Thank you so much, Miss Eve. If you are new to the channel, please do not forget to take 2 seconds to hit that like button, and do not forget to subscribe. We are talking about bad hair. And if you're new to the channel, you'll understand I'm always doing some kind of theme or something, some kind of, that's me. I'm really creative like that, okay? But this is one of the, we're doing a Halloween trilogy. We've been doing Halloween reviews and explanations this entire month. And Halloween's almost here, and we'll have a special Halloween night as well. But I did want to talk about this movie. It's very, very good. I actually enjoyed it. It was funny. It had Lena. I'm a big fan of her. I always call her my mentor in my head. Lena Waithe was in the movie, and she's directs and does stuff, but she's also funny. She has like a sarcastic way about her. It's really funny. Like a couple of scenes she did where she said there was some kind of guy group she was introducing. She said, "Sometimes I like guys," something like that. I was just like, she and then when everybody had the weave in their head, and I thought that she was one of them crazy zombie hair people, and she was acting crazy and running away. So my almost got killed, and Anna saved her. She said, looked at her. She said, "I couldn't afford no $500 for no hair." She said, "No, what Sharika could do it for 59 or something like that." I hollered. I was like, "Oh my god!" So I like it because yes, it was. Look, when she was sitting there and that hair started sucking that blood out of her hand, I said, "Ooh." When all the hair on top of her head started going down inside of her pants because she was on her cycle and the hair wanted blood that bad, I was like, it was it was really done well. It was really done very well. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys know when I do explanations, I do get spoilers. So if you hadn't seen it, I apologize. But when I talk about the endings and the explanations, I give spoilers. To me, the ending was good because it showed her cousin was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my hair finally done." And I really felt like the uncle knew the whole time what was going on with his niece. And I never really understood why he didn't do anything. I don't know if he was afraid of the hair, but he just didn't do anything. Maybe he felt like she had to find out on his own. Because when the movie first comes on, he's actually talking about her. Like, saying, "I don't know what we're gonna do. What is she doing?" or something like that to the wife. And then all of a sudden, she comes to the door and like they change their mind and go, "Oh yeah, this book, these different stories." you know, uh, you know, stuff like that. So I know that people in the chat are saying that they've already watched it or they haven't seen it. Um, I love horror movies and scary movies, but I love scary movies where it affects my people or it makes you think. And I think this movie is one of them. Let's talk about our hair, the struggle. Um, how we have to have a law to even control us by how we wear our hair to work or anything like that's crazy. So for them to do a horror film about hair, and this is 1989, where I had a friend where we worked somewhere where she constantly had to change her hairstyle. She's no longer here, rest in peace. But she constantly had to change her hairstyle, and she would fight with them because if she wore big old dookie braids or all kind of different colors and hairstyles and big hair, they would always have something to say. She always kept it wrapped up and everything because of the food and everything, but they always gave her a hassle. So we've come a long way as far as and I know the Crown Act is it's a big thing, and it's making small steps, and obviously we want bigger steps. There are people who have been in school who they told them they couldn't wear hair a certain type of way. It's just insane. But you can take what you want to take from that. You want to say the witches were trying to control black women. I mean, if you want to take that theory and go with that, or if you want to say that theory that at the end of the day, you need to look at yourself within yourself and love your crown that's on top of your head already, and not try to be dramatic. And this is nothing against anybody who wears lace fronts and different things. I don't want anyone to take it that way. I think all black women can wear whatever style they want to, and that's the whole point that I'm trying to make, that we should be able to wear any style we want and should not be feel any type of way about anything. And so I don't think this movie is just about coming against people who wear weave, because I really don't think it was made for that. I think it was made for we should be able to wear our hair how we want to wear it. And the fact of the matter is that you will kill for this hairstyle, and that I would kill to get to the top. So it's a club, like it's always a lead club or something, So just having your hair straight and weaved up to get noticed, to pay attention, like people hadn't done things in the 80s or any time before that to blend in to get ahead. I mean, this is not new or anything, but the movie was good. I really actually enjoyed it. I love the what the 80s 90s music that they kind of brought in there. I thought it really brought the theme, then the crazy hairstyles, short haircut, long on the side. Man, so I mean 90s is one of my favorite time periods anyway, along with the 70s. But um it was really, really good. I really hope that you guys check out the movie, and if you have seen it, I hope you check out. I mean, I'm sorry, like the explanation that I tried to give. To me, I tried to look up the folklore, and there was something similar out there saying, the slave, um, putting that on their head. I was looking up different things, and it was even showing white women with the moss hair. So it's probably a lot of different stories associated with that. Um, there was even a picture showing a slave with, even in the movie, with an afro that was big, like she had used the tree. And eventually the witch does take over the body. So if Anna hadn't cut that out of her hair, I do fully believe that the witches would have taken over her and she would have been gone as well. But what she decided to do was take control, cut the hair out, get away from the company, start all over, even though she's going to be broke. Whatever dream she wanted to achieve before, she's going to have to start from scratch and start over. But she obviously didn't want it as bad as she thought she did, because she left everything behind. It was good. It was very, very good. A lot of different messages I really found in this movie, especially about, obviously, about the hair, about culture, and it even would show pictures whenever she would, because they said the hair would always, because there was one part where the uncle, which was Blair Underwood, she was asking questions about books about hair and folklore, and I really felt like he knew. He had almost like tears in his eyes, but he just didn't say anything. And I believe because the hair may have tried to kill him. Maybe that's why he didn't say anything. But like I said, it was doggone good. I enjoyed it. I did. So that is my review, and that is my explanation about it. Because there was even a scene you'll see when because the memory that the hair has, it's showing a bucket of water, or a wood or something, and somebody snatching, looks like hair, but from the tree, and putting it into the water. And I think that's what the slaves were doing to keep the hair up, not knowing about the hair was put there by witches. Oh Lord, child. Anyway, thank you, Bright Star. Let me shout out to people. Miss E, not this 957. Thank you for coming to the chat. Exclusively me, Bright Star, Nurse Shay. I appreciate it. You guys coming to the chat and checking out the live commission reviews. Nurse, I know you've been here before. I know you call me. A lot of people won't know me for that over here because that channel is no longer anymore up, and this is commission reviews. But I know you know me a lot, so I'm cool with it. Uh, but anyway, you guys, check out the movie. Come back to the comments. Tell me what you guys think. Give me your opinion about what do you think about, I guess, whatever, all of it. And I will engage in the comments. I love doing that. Lord have mercy, that poor child with 10 head. She still had that same burn mark on her head when she had that perm. That tripped me out too. Yes, it is on Hulu. Now, I think that somebody told each other they don't have Hulu. I don't know if it's possible. You might be able to try to look for the whole movie. I know, Nurse Shay. You might be able to look in the movie in the on YouTube. They might have partial, or if you have a Fire Stick, you probably can watch the entire movie for free. But I don't actually know. I don't know what you have or whatever. I'm sorry. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I got one more live to do later on. Another review. I gotta watch the show. I cannot wait to watch it and review it. I already have a trailer up of the cast. If you have not checked it out, Ready to Love. And that's all I got for you guys.